Howdy folks, hey, it's Rick. We are going to be digging into the Austin market data for March 2024. So we're going to be looking at the data. Of course, we're going to look at our good old friend interest rates, kind of see what they're doing. We're also going to dig into some predictions for interest rates through 2025. Some interesting information there. Then we're going to take a little bit of a dive to see the top 20 cities where home prices doubled the quickest in the United States. So there's some really interesting data there that we're going to dig into. And then we are going to dig into one really interesting headline. And of course, my question with that headline, is it news or is it history? So it was released on Bloomberg a couple of days ago. So I just wanted to touch base on that because there's some interesting information there as well. So let's get started. All right, here is our old friend number of homes sold. So you can kind of see as we're looking along, we are the orange line this year. So the number of homes sold for March was really similar to where we were last year. So it's on the typical upward spring trajectory. So we got that going on. Now we're going to kind of head over to the average price of a home sold. So let's take a look at where we're at here. Orange line again. So you can see we are on the upward swing as we would be every spring. So numbers are looking up a little bit. Home prices are a little bit higher than they were last year. So that trend is kind of what we've talked about in the past. Home prices really bottomed out last year in 2023, early 23. And now we're kind of heading up a little bit. I don't think we'll see anything dramatic home prices this year. They should be really steady and we'll probably really kind of follow about where we were last year, I think, for most of the year. And the total number of listings. So these are the number of homes that are on the market. So as you can see, everybody puts their homes on the market in the spring. So those numbers are typically kind of go up. But we have more homes on the market right now than we've had in the last 5 years. So that just begs the old question of if you're a buyer, is now a good time to buy? Certainly plenty of inventory, lots to choose from. You can find the right house and you can work out a pretty good deal for yourself too. So if you're a buyer, keep that in mind. If you're a seller, we talk about this every time. You got to make sure your home is priced right and it looks really good because those buyers out there are pretty persnickety and you can see they have a lot to choose from. All right, moving on to our arch nemesis, the interest rates. Let's take a look at that. So last week we had kind of a bad week in interest rates. We had some bad news for employment, the PCI, a number of other things. So interest rates the bond market shocked itself a little bit and interest rates shot up. They've mellowed out a little bit this week, but you can see we are sitting at about 7.43 today. And they're down just a little bit. We do have the Fed is meeting Tuesday and Wednesday of this week, and they are not expected to give us any really good news. They're probably going to say that it's going to take a little bit longer for rates to fall. We touched a little bit about the top 20 cities in the United States where their home prices doubled the quickest. So this is the number of years that it took for home prices to double. The good news is there is not one Texas city on this list. So see, our prices didn't go that bad. So you can take a look at a couple of these. We're not going to dig into each one, but Detroit is number one. Took them 4.9 years for home prices to double. And leading the pack was Tucson, Arizona, 7.1 years. So you see a lot of Arizona, Florida, those things where home prices doubled the quickest. So that's good news that we are not there. And we also talked about interest rate predictions. So here's just some quick predictions. These are not mine. This is issued by the government, so this is where they think the interest rates are going to be through just about the end of 2025. So you can see right in there they were saying in April it's going to close at about 6.97. Right now it's at about 7.53. So they're not quite there. I don't think it'll get down 0.5% in the next couple of days to get us to where they think it's going to be. So again, I think rates are going to stay a little bit higher than where they're at. But they're saying by December of this year they should be at 6.6. Maybe 6.8 where 6.9 would be probably more of my guess. And then we get into December of 2025, they're saying they could be 4.72. I would say odds are they could probably be still in the fives, but definitely better than where they're at today. And last but not least, I ran across this on my Bloomberg news feed the other day, and I wanted to kind of share the shocking headline with you a little bit. So let's take a quick look at that. It says, plunging home prices in Austin, fleeing companies, Austin's growth is fading. So certainly some things have happened. Oracle's moving their headquarters out of Austin to Nashville, but you got to dig a little bit deeper on that one. Oracle moved their headquarters to Austin from the Bay Area a few years ago in name. They didn't move any employees. All the executives still live out in the Bay Area. None of that happened. They moved here to take advantage of our favorable tax laws, where California did not have those. So they're making a strategic move for their own reasons to Nashville. That's fine. They're not taking any employees. Nobody's going to be going from Austin to Nashville, so there's not going to be this mass exodus of Oracle employees. So that one was really in name only. And the other one, we've heard Tesla's having some layoffs. They're having a few issues with people wanting to buy their cars. They've lost their luster a little bit, and I'm sure they'll work on that and get that kind of back to where it needs to be. And we've already looked into home prices a little bit earlier, so that is probably more history than it is news. It is news that Oracle's moving and Tesla's laying people off, but home prices have stabilized and we're fine right now. So that really is not news. So something else at the bottom of that Bloomberg article that if you just scanned the headline real quick, you would have never seen it, but I really enjoyed looking at this right here. And I was talking about even a slowing Austin economy is still hot enough to be the envy of a lot of other places. The 3.5% unemployment rate trails the national average, and the downtown skyline is full of construction cranes. Samsung is opening a $17 billion plant in Taylor and plans to invest $40 billion in the area as it ramps up chip production. The city is also home to, we know, Facebook, Apple, Google, a bunch of other companies. So we have tons of the tech companies here. They're not leaving, so all of that is really good. And the interesting thing I kind of thought in here is that over the next decade, Austin will be the top U.S. city for the number of centimillionaires, or people with a net worth of $100+ million. So we actually have a huge number of millionaires living in the Austin area, and more coming here all the time. And more people are still moving here, so that's still happening, so that's not changing. And then the last little tidbit in that article was like the CEO of JP Morgan Chase said that Austin has now become a competitor for New York City. So that's some really good news as we kind of end on this. The market's going to get better. Interest rates are going to come down. It's just going to take some time. Still a good time to sell if you do things right. You got to find the right realtor for that, and I think we all know who that is. That being said, if you have any questions about the real estate market, you have questions about buying, selling, investing, renting, any of that, feel free to give me a call. Have a great day. Thanks.